Bola Ahmed Tinubu was inaugurated as the 16th president of Nigeria on May 29. In his inaugural speech, he made certain promises, including the pledge to rule in the interest of Nigerians. He said his administration shall govern on your behalf but never rule over you, and that his government will consult and dialogue but never dictate. He added that we shall reach out to all but never put down a single person for holding views contrary to our own. We are here to further mend and heal this nation, not tear and injure it. It is already 30 days since his assumption of office, and there have been a couple of critical decisions made by the president, some of which have raised dust and stirred reactions from the public. The first was fuel subsidy removal. On May 29, during his inauguration, Tinubu declared that there would no longer be a petroleum subsidy regime, as the current 2023 budget did not contain it. The new president stated that subsidy is gone and that funds for subsidies will be diverted to other things such as public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and jobs. We commend the decision of the outgoing administration in phasing out the petrol subsidy regime, which has increasingly favored the rich more than the poor. Subsidy can no longer justify its ever-increasing costs in the wake of drying resources, he said in part. In a swift reaction to the announcement, filling stations and marketers began hoarding fuel, leading to the resurgence of queues at some filling stations and consequent hike in prices of the products. Nigerians are still grappling with the fuel price hike that has led to an increase in the cost of many goods and services and impacted generally on cost of living. The second was suspension, arrest of CBN Governor Emefiele. Less than 2 weeks after assuming office as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele from office with immediate effect. The suspension, according to a statement issued and signed by the Director of Information in the Office of Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF, Willie Bassi, said the suspension came into effect as part of investigation of Emefiele's office and the planned reforms in the financial sector of the economy. Emefiele was later taken into custody by Nigerian Secret Police, the Department of State Services, hours after his suspension. The Department of State Services (DSS) hereby confirms that Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), is now in its custody for some investigative reasons, Peter Funaya, the spokesperson for the agency, said in a press statement. Emefiele had faced criticism due to his controversial foray into partisan politics, as he was rumored to be contesting for the presidential ticket of the ruling All Progressive Congress. He was also widely criticized for naira notes redesign policy and the hardship it brought on many Nigerians. The third was suspension of EFCC boss Power. Also, in his first 16 days in office, Tinubu ordered the suspension of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Abdulrasheed Bawah. A brief statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation (SGF), announcing the developments on June 14, said the president suspended Bawah over weighty allegations of abuse of office leveled against him. In a quick succession that same day, the DSS took to its recently launched Twitter handle to announce that Bawah had honored an invitation for investigation. The dramatic role reversal that suddenly turned Bawah from a hunter to the hunted is a reenactment of the ending that had characterized the exit of the previous heads of the anti-corruption agency since its inception. The fourth was naira floating unification. 2 weeks ago, Tinubu's promise to carry out monetary policy reforms, particularly to ensure a single exchange rate for Nigeria, manifested as the CBN floated naira, making the exchange rate to be determined by market forces. In a press statement signed by its director in charge of financial markets, Dr. Angela Sere Ejimbi, the Apex Bank announced immediate changes to operations in the Nigerian foreign exchange FX markets. In a curious move, the central bank abolished its hitherto multiple exchange rates windows and collapsed them into the business-based investors and exporters I&E window. All segments are now collapsed into the investors and exporters I&E window. Applications for medicals, school fees, PTA/PTA, and SMEs will continue to be processed through deposit money banks, Dr. Sere Ejimbi said in a message to authorized dealers of Forex. In his inaugural speech on May 29, President Tinubu had said the CBN must work towards a unified exchange rate, adding that the nation's monetary interest rate, which was at 18.5%, is anti-people and unproductive. Interest rate is currently too high. It's anti-people, anti-business. We have to work on all of those, he stated. The fifth was retirement and appointment of service chiefs. On June 19, the President approved the immediate retirement of all service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, advisors, Comptroller General of Customs from service with immediate effect. He also named their replacements. Tinubu equally renamed Nuhu Ribadu as National Security Advisor, NSA, a week after naming him Special Advisor on Security Matters to the President. The sixth was appointment of Special Advisors. On June 5, the President named 8 Special Advisors, including a former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nuhu Ribadu, who later became NSA. A former Lagos Commissioner for Information, Dele Alake, as Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy. Wale Edun, a former Lagos Commissioner, appointed as Special Advisor on Monetary Policies. From Lagos, this is Peace Nwabuko, News Express Nigerian Television.